Happy Friday. Hello, everybody. I am very excited about the weekend, and I hope you guys are too. Today, I want to give you guys a big kick in the can for getting in shape and prioritizing your health over the weekend, because quite often that's when things hit the fan. You go, but it's Friday night, or but we're out on the river. And interestingly enough, if it's Friday night and you're consuming all the chicken wings and the mozzarella sticks and the fried pickles, you'll gain weight. I know. Shocker. Oh my gosh. But it's true. Your body does not care if it's Friday night. If you are trying to get fit, if you are trying to lose weight, and then you go, hey, it's Friday, I'm going to eat all the stuff in the bar, then that's going to work against you. And that's an actual fitness expert. I'm digging deep into my bag of education and knowledge for that one. But yeah, Friday night, calories still count. And so fitness is not all about calories, and it's certainly not all about weight loss. And many of you are at your ideal weight. Great. But you can't throw it all in the can because it's Friday night. And reciprocally, if it's Saturday night or Saturday afternoon and you're out in the boat or on the river, out in the ocean, and everyone's got all the beer, if you drink all the beer, your body will still pay the price, even if it's the weekend. And so I always find it interesting. You know, if I were to stand on a stage in front of 1,000 people, which I often do, and say something like, who would like to win a $10 million lottery prize? And every single hand goes up, right? Well, then sometimes I say, okay, who would like to lose weight between 1 and 1,000 pounds? And at that point, almost every hand goes up. Now, not everybody, because some people are underweight and some people are pretty dang happy exactly where they are. But the reality is that weight loss is one of those things most people are trying to accomplish, even a small amount of. And if you work really hard Monday through Friday and you're super disciplined, you watch what you put in your mouth and you avoid even your coworker's candy dish, and you say no thank you to the evening glass of wine, and you exercise really hard. But then on Friday night, you go out and have a couple margaritas and a whole basket of chips and then some appetizers. You can blow an entire week's worth of work in one evening out with the girls. And it's always the girls, right? It's interesting. As I've counseled like 75 billion people over my career, when I share the exact formula for weight loss with men, and it's math. So if you're unfamiliar with it, go to the cover of FITZNESS.com. That's right. There, go to the cover. It's right on the homepage, the exact formula for weight loss. And I teach you how to eat the right amounts of the right foods for the size you want to be. But there's a very specific formula customized to you. And if I share it with men traditionally go, oh, well, that's simple. Okay. And then they drop, I don't know, like 20 pounds the first month or whatever. I mean, that might be an exaggeration depending on how big the guy is to start with. But men learn the formula and they instantly go, oh, I can do that. That makes sense. It's just math and a little discipline. Women look at the formula and they go, well, what if I'm having my period? What if it's Friday night? And what if I'm at a bridal shower? And what if it's Christmas or my birthday? And the formula works every day. And sadly, we don't get a pass. So it's not that you can't deliberately choose a day where you're going to be luxurious with your eating choices. That's not at all the case. But you also have to know that even if it's your birthday, it will come with consequences, right? And so I'm not a fan of people who say, well, I have a cheat meal or I have a cheat day. You're grown-ups. You don't need to cheat. You make deliberate decisions. And if most of your eating habits are good throughout the day, I mean, I stick with the exact formula for weight loss. I use my caloric budget, and well, I'll finish up what I'm saying and then I'll backtrack. But about 85 to 90% of my choices throughout each day are really good. And so I have about 10 to 15% of my calories to have wiggle room, right? I have milk chocolate every single day, or I consider my day sad, even if it's just a little piece. I may have some chips. I've got a salty thing now, but that's on my terms. I'm not cheating. It's not a cheat day. I'm not a little kid. I'm not looking at someone else's paper for a test. It's not cheating. I'm making a choice that I'm going to be a little bit lenient over here. And the rest of my choices are traditionally pretty darn healthy. I eat a ton of produce. I'm that girl, I walk the walk. I eat I gobble up fruit, and then I also gobble up nuts, and I gobble up vegetables, and I don't add a lot of creamy sauces or butter or oil. And no, I'm not perfect, but the majority of my calories are really healthy ones. So when I reach for a little bit of chocolate, I don't feel so bad. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm certainly not hurting myself. As you can tell, I've got it under control. And so, sorry, it's Friday. I have a great interview coming up next week, and I'm super excited about this one. It's with my friend Chrissy. And Chrissy and I went to high school together, and she was such a nice girl back then. In fact, I think we were in the band together, and I think we cheerleaded together too. She's so cute, but Chrissy has lost an enormous amount of weight. I'm looking if she texted me the number. God, she's lost over 200 pounds using my exact formula for weight loss. It's crazy. So she just sent me a text. Let me see, because I said, Chrissy, remind me. I'm going to tell everybody that your interview is coming up. Can you remind me exactly how much you've lost? So I'm reading this. She says, I can give you an estimate and I'll explain. Before I started to try and lose the weight, the largest number that I ever saw on the scale was 367. 367 pounds. And she's not a tall girl. She's about my height. And then she said, I stopped weighing myself, and I know I gained more after that. So I estimate that my biggest was around 380-ish. I'm at 174 right now, so a little over 200 pounds lost, which is bonkers, which is absolutely bonkers, outstanding, exciting. And I can't wait to talk to Chrissy and share her success story with you. And she's actually a great conversationalist, so I'm really excited to have her on. We're hoping for Tuesday. We've penciled it in about Tuesday around noon, maybe 1 o'clock, depending on her work schedule. I'll let you know, but Chrissy's going to be a fantastic interview. And I also have started reaching out to my hottie. So on the Hottie Body FITZNESS Challenge on Facebook, it's a group where I provide guidance on weight loss and getting in shape, and about 2,000 people gather there to support each other and find success. And you can join that. It's free. It's free, and I like the help. So please join the Hottie Body FITZNESS Challenge. In fact, I'll write it in the comment section. I want to see if you guys can see the comment I leave too. That would be pretty nice. I think you can. Boom, please post. Oh, yes, it's posting everywhere. Hot dang, that's very exciting. Technology is wonderful. Where was I going with that? Oh, okay, so the weight loss request. So I actually posted in the Hottie Body FITZNESS Challenge. He said, hey guys, I want to do an upcoming live stream show on being overweight. Because, right, we talk a lot about that. And in fact, I was overweight. I was about 40-something pounds heavier than I am today. And so most of you only know me as a lean, fit girl. But it wasn't always that way. I've got my entire teenage block was wrought with weight issues. And, you know, I was never obese, but I definitely had extra. And again, 40-something extra pounds on me is a lot. And it definitely led to discomfort and body issues and an eating disorder and so forth. So I put out the request. They said, hey guys, tell me what was the hardest part or is the hardest part about being overweight, your weird experience, your blah, blah, blah. And so my hotties, they left a bunch of great feedback, great stories, and I'm going to share those too. But I also put that question on my FITZNESS Facebook page. So I would love it if you guys would go answer that question. FITZNESS on Facebook, it's right there. And yeah, give me your answers too. And if I can share your name while I share those answers with everybody, great. If not, I will leave your names out. I want to talk about this because it's hard, right? It's hard, and it's something we can all kind of identify with, or most of us. I would say most people have struggled with their weight at one point, whether they're a little kid, a teenager, adult, or they're still struggling. You know, there's a lot of commonalities, and just knowing that somebody else feels the same way and has had the same experience, I think goes a really long way. And yeah, I think people like to know that I used to be overweight. Of course, nobody's wishing harm on me, like, Fitz, I want you to be overweight. But I do think people look at me and go, she doesn't understand. And I do understand. And I don't shout that from the rooftops enough, but I do understand. And I have been there. And that's one of the reasons my heart bleeds so much for people in that position, because I know how hard it is, how much it hurts. And I know that I can get you out of that position, right? I can help you help yourself. And once you get into a body that's fitter and feels good, all the doors of life open up. Your clothing choices feel better, and forget that you're buying different clothing, just not fearing clothes, not looking into your closet thinking, oh my God, what the hell am I going to put on today? 'Cause everything looks and feels bad. The way your body feels, being overweight comes with a lot of aches and pains. There's just so much that goes into it. So I am not a rescuer, but I do feel like I want to rescue people from that misery, that stress, that anxiety, that those moments where you're mean to yourself, you're hard on yourself, it kills me, because you are so much more than your thighs. You are so much more than your waist and your hips and the parts that you're not proud of, or the parts you're not comfortable in. All the good stuff is on the inside. It's up in here. It's the things you do and the way you treat people, right? And the creations you leave behind. I mean, there's so much to you that has nothing to do with your thighs, yet sometimes that becomes the overriding issue, right? So that's what I do. I help people feel better in the skin that they're in, and actually get healthy and live better and live longer. And that's my brand. Live better and longer with FITZNESS. I don't have a brand that says, look hot in a thong with FITZNESS, although I can help you look hot in a thong, but that's not what it's about. So thank you for replying, Kim. I got Rudy and Andrew all gushing over each other, missing each other at the races. Oh, I miss everybody so much. Good. Come on out, Andrew. We miss you too. Happy birthday, Jade. She's going to go to Caldwell to do marshalling with her mom and stepdad for motorcycle sport. Well, that sounds like a great time, Jade. I hope you have a wonderful birthday and lots of adventure. So again, we're going to talk a lot about weight loss next week, and not only weight loss, but the experience of being overweight. And I hope I can do that justice, and I think with your help I will. So if you've got a story to share, some insight, some input, go to FITZNESS on my Facebook page, and then just leave a comment underneath my post requesting for your comments. It's easy, right? We can just boom, magically interact. So the other guest I have Wednesday, which I'm super excited, is Michael Wardian. And if you're unfamiliar with Michael Wardian, he is a world record breaking ultra marathoner. And that word ultra marathoner just doesn't do him justice. I met Michael maybe a handful of years ago when he won the Big Sur Marathon 2 years in a row. And I think Michael's actually won Big Sur 4 times. But he's not only a super speedster, an incredible runner, but he's a doll. He's a really charming man, and he's a wonderful dad. And I believe his job is international shipping of some sort. So he's smart and professional and athletic, and he looks like a trail runner. He's got the long hair and the long beard and the short shorts, and he just does it all. And he's also done the 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days challenge, but that wasn't enough for him. And yes, that's a thing. People actually start, oh Lord, I'm going to screw it up, but maybe they start in Europe, and then they run a marathon, they get on a private plane and jet over to Africa, run a marathon, get on a plane and jet over to Australia or whatever. So it's impressive. We'll talk about that some, but Michael's a great guy. But that 777 challenge wasn't enough for him. 7 marathons in 7 continents on 7 days wasn't enough. So he stuck it out in Miami, Florida, I believe, and on 3 consecutive days after that trip ran 3 more marathons, because, right, 777's not good enough. So Michael will be here with me Wednesday at noon Eastern. That's April 14th. Unless something weird happens, we're going to live stream. And if you have questions for Michael, and maybe you have a psychiatrist that says, tell me why you run so far so much, but he's great. And the other thing I love is that he is highly committed to strength training. And that's actually the reason he gets to do all those races, is because he is a well-rounded athlete who is smart, and he knows that he can't get away with just running. He has to do strength training. He has to do flexibility training. He has to do balance training. I watch him do it because he posts it regularly on LinkedIn, or I'm sorry, on Instagram, and it's fantastic. So excited to talk to Michael. I hope you'll join me. And if you guys have any other suggestions, if you've got some great exact formula for weight loss success story you'd like to share, I'd love to bring you on, because I think all the conversations help lift each other up. Yeah, Rudy. So Rudy also announces Big Sir with me. He says, Michael is also one of the most approachable, regular people on the planet. Yeah, he's just a sweet potato. He's one of those people I look forward to seeing. And Beast, that is his photo. But yeah, so nice, so nice. And some of the people who win races, we say, congratulations, great job, have a high five, maybe take a photo, and we never see them again. Michael is the guy who sticks around and supports the other athletes and is just very friendly and interesting. So we're gonna giddy up for today. I got a few questions that were sent my way that I'd like to answer. If you have any more questions, use the comment section wherever you are, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, or Twitter. I'm broadcasting there too now. Very exciting. And if you have questions, share with me and I will answer them, or at least I'll do my best. All right, Buffy says, would love to know how Michael balances strength training and running. Well, good. We're going to talk about that, Buffy. So you tune in on Wednesday. We're definitely going to talk about strength training with Michael for sure. All right, so the question I got first was, which is better, yoga or Pilates? And what do you think is better? Use the comment section. If I had the Jeopardy music, I would play it. But which do you think is better, yoga or Pilates? I'm going to wait about 10 seconds to see if your very slow fingers can get to work on your computers and cell phones to answer that question. Better, yoga or Pilates? All right. Oh, Buffy says Pilates. There's one vote. Okay. So far, we've got 100% of the vote comes in for Pilates. All right. I don't want to wait too much longer because I don't like dead air. It depends what you want. They're both great. There is no better. I mean, obviously, Buffy's got a preference. It's totally okay to have a preference. But if you really want the max amount of flexibility training, if stretching and being bendy and pliable is your focus, then yoga is definitely better. Definitely better for sure. Now, if you want great core training, very fine tuning on your core, which is your abs, your low back, your glutes, and your hip flexors, if you want to work that, then Pilates is better. So it really does vary. It depends what you're out for. That's right. Kimberly Johnson for the win. You get extra points. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to throw extra points today. Kimberly, you've got the extra points. So yeah, they're different. And okay, Andrew says yoga. Is it better? I don't know if it's better. It just depends what you're out for. So yeah, I highly suggest doing both. And yeah, here's the deal. I sometimes pick on yoga. I am a very, I guess, high energy, but I like to go, 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 go. So things where I move a lot, things where I feel like I'm being productive really serve me. The stillness of yoga takes the insides of my brain and it looks like scribble scrabble. It's like, this is the inside of my brain on yoga right there. That's it. When I do yoga, my brain just goes, good job, you gotta move, you gotta leave, you gotta get on your computer and be productive. So I really, really struggle. Now, I love stretching and I spend a lot of time doing it. I wake up and stretch, I go to the gym and stretch. Before I go to bed, I lie around I'm always on the floor somewhere in my house. I'm a floor person. That's how I self-identify. So all these people identify as these other very important, very high level things and good for them. I identify as a floor person. And I may start advocating for floor person rights. But yeah, stretching. I do it all the time when I get inside a yoga class. It's almost like the walls close in on Fitz Koehler and I feel a little anxious. So yoga would be great for me with a lot of motion. And I know there are some yogas with motion. In fact, I just ran into my friend Kelly locally. She's a yoga instructor. And we saw each other at the place where we do spray tans. And so I was like, hey, Kelly. And she said, hey, Fitz. And she was on her yoga gear, looking very fine. And I asked her where she was teaching. And so she gave me a free class to her yoga studio. And I said, which class will be most active? Because she has the hot yoga and the vinyasa yoga. And I think vinyasa means that you move from pose to pose. Not sure. But she highly recommended the vinyasa. And there's also vinyasa regular temperature, vinyasa hot temperature. I don't know if I need the hot stuff. I live in Florida. I'm always hot. I don't know. Maybe I'll do the hot yoga. We'll see. But I definitely find a benefit to it. So for you, if you need flexibility, if you need to become more mobile, if you are stiff, if you get up and you go like, your knees, your hips, your low back, I think yoga would be a great choice. And, call up the yoga place and say, hey, tell me about your classes. And then you can choose a variety that work for you. In fact, I've chosen some wrong yoga classes, the kind where some dude is falling asleep, and that just doesn't work for me. I need active yoga, but highly, highly, highly recommend yoga. I think it's great. The other thing, wait, let's go. You got some comments. Yeah, Victoria, I also find it a little, but if you get the right class, I have done yoga quite a few times where I've enjoyed it. It required a really good instructor and lots of active poses. So perhaps you go there. Blah, 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 blah. And, oh, Jennifer Hall, thank you for leaving your name. Why are you showing up as anonymous? So on the Facebook stream, it asks you to give permission for StreamYard to use your name. So I'm on this end of it, not that end of it, but hopefully you can find that. Let's see. Need to get better with stretching. Had an injury from stretching once and it scared me. Yeah, so here's the deal. You can definitely go too far with stretching. And my little stretch story that turned out to be a nightmare. Now, mind you, stretching is 99.9999999% good. Don't let anyone who's had a stretching-induced injury turn you off from stretching, because you are far more likely to be injured because you are inflexible and immobile. So don't allow this. But there's a way to push it too far. So back when I was full contact kickboxing, I was warming up at an event, and fighting is kind of interesting. You don't fight at 6 and then 6:30 and 7, because if a fight is scheduled for 12 rounds, but there's a first round knockout, you can't wait 28 minutes and let the rest of the fans just be bored to tears. You have to have the second fight ready to go. And sometimes fights will go the full range, but you're warmed up, ready for a quick turnover. So I was at an event and I was very, very warmed up. Now, mind you, I was moderately flexible my whole life, but once I started training to kick people in the head, I became incredibly flexible, and I was able to, boom, put my foot up way high. I could kick Conan O'Brien in the head, like that kind of flexibility, and head kicks were my favorite. So I worked really, really hard to increase my flexibility to kick people in the head. And so I go to this event, I warm up, and the fights before me are just taking forever. So I'm warming up. I end up warming up for 2 hours, which is bad because you're not warming up anymore. You're just being active. But I kept stretching. And then, so here's the deal. I could basically do a split standing up. I've never been able to do just a split on the floor, a side split or front to back split. But there I was. Warmed up for 2 hours, and I go down. I've got my right leg forward, my left foot behind me, and boom, I get down into an actual split. I think, whoa, look at me, I'm doing a split. And then I pushed it too far. I did the thing I normally do when I get down into that extended position. That's not a full split. Normally, I would drop my chest towards my knee to get an extra reach, a little extra stretch on that hamstring. And so I bent down from that full split position, folded my chest towards my knee, and I heard, and my hamstring avulsed from my ischium. And the ischium is the little butt bone you sit on at the bottom of your pelvis. And I had already had not only my gloves on, but they were taped on. And that's one of the things you have to do, is you have to tape your gloves so the laces don't come undone, and none of the strapping on your gloves scratches or hurts the other person. So I'm there. got a mouthpiece in. I think I had headgear on, and I hear my hamstring just pop off the bone. I go to my trainer and go, get him off, get him off, get him off. And he goes, who are you talking to? I was like, get him off. And so he undoes everything. And, you know, you hear the pop. You don't know what happened. You don't have an instant MRI or X-ray of the inside of your leg. So I get up and I'm squirming around and I know something's wrong. But I wasn't sure exactly what's wrong. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe it was popcorn in there. I just didn't know. And so some of my clients at the time were physical therapists and they had come out to see me fight. So I bring them over. I'm like, what do you think? And so most often tears in the hamstring are in the belly, you know, between your knee and your hip. And so they're going the belly of the hamstring. I'm like, yeah, if you did, you'd have all this bruising and bleeding. I think you're fine. And so I had to make that decision. It was very hard. And I loved fighting. I loved competition. And it was so rare for me because I'm a small person. There just wasn't a lot of competition. And so, and I'm a kicker. I was a great boxer too, but I was a far better kickboxer than I was boxer. So I decided, yeah, I wasn't going to risk it. And I bowed out of that fight. Oh, it pained me so, but I'm so glad I did because I actually tore a good chunk of my hamstring off the bone. I ended up on crutches for a long time, and it was miserable. So yes, you can push it too far with stretching, but most of the time you're not pushing it too hard, and you should know the difference. The second you get that wince, you're fine. Don't push it any further. And yeah, there's like a trillion people that'll get injured or experience pain or suffering because they're not flexible. And there's only a few people on the planet who will actually get injured because they push stretching so hard. So don't worry about that. Just stretch. And then let's see. We've got some more comments. Sean. Hi, Sean. I love you, Sean. I enjoy yoga because it helps me recover from its high intensity training boot camp classes. Yeah, it's a really nice recovery. So if you're going to work out a couple of hours, yeah, go running, strength train, yoga, or do your boot camp class and then do yoga. Yoga is a wonderful way to recover from a more actively intense workout. Free-run stretch is pulling on my socks. Well, there you go. And the good news is if you are an endurance runner who runs at an average pace, you're not going to be sprinting. Warm-up period doesn't have to look like much. I prefer a decent stretch before a run, but you're really not going too far out of your range of motion with a run. If you're going to do karate and kick your leg up high, you definitely want to spend time on pre-workout flexibility. But yeah, a walk or a slow run is a good warm-up for a race. And I like stretching out the hamstrings and the adductors and so forth, but could be your preference. Okay, so moving on. So yoga's great for stretching. Pilates, I used to think, oh, that would be so boring. But again, I was in kickboxer mode. And then I tried Pilates. I actually tried mat Pilates without the reformer. It was a really, really good workout. It was very challenging. I'm a girl with an ab DVD, right? My core is pretty strong. I had a fantastic workout from Pilates. It was very challenging. I was very sore the next day. And also my low back got a great workout. In fact, it really is a precision training tool for your core. So if that is your priority, then Pilates, okay? So the original question was, which is better, yoga or Pilates? And I think they're both actually fantastic. And the worst workout in the world is the one you are not doing. So yoga and Pilates and running and strength training, all of the above. I say all of the above to exercise. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so here's the next question. People ask, and this is really common, Fitz, what do I do to stop my toes from getting numb while using the elliptical? And that's a really common occurrence. So is anyone, hands up high, if you've had your toes go numb while using the elliptical trainer? An elliptical trainer mimics a running motion, but you keep your feet flat on the pedal. So the reason your toes are going numb is because of the position of your toes, and quite often they're being jammed into the foot of the tip of your shoe, which is also being jammed into that little pedal. So the way we get rid of that is often to bring your heels back on the plate. I like to just slide them back a little bit so they're not jammed so much further down. And I also like to wear open-toed shoes on an elliptical. Now, usually in a gym setting, I want you in closed-toed shoes to protect your toes. If you're walking around strength training equipment and dumbbells and medicine balls and kettlebells, there's a lot of ways to injure your feet. So closed-toed shoes are ideal. But when you go over to the elliptical, you can actually take off your closed-toed shoes, your sneakers, your running shoes, whatever, and then put on a sandal. It doesn't have to have any support at all because you're not having any impact. There's no collision with the ground at all when you're using the elliptical. So you can use your Crocs, you can use your flip-flops that you actually wear in the locker room. There's no rule on that. It's a non-impact activity. I definitely would wear a shoe, but it doesn't matter to me what kind you use. But if you open up those toes and you pull your heel back a little bit, your toes will stop going numb. So I hope that has solved that problem for a lot of people. And look, we're here back with Mystery Person. We have yoga outdoors in a vineyard near your home in the summer in the warm breeze. Well, la-ti-da. Who is this? Is this Jennifer Hall again? I don't think she lives by a vineyard. That sounds very luxurious to go out and do yoga in the vineyard. So I don't have access to any vineyards around here, but I may show up on somebody's cattle ranch and do some yoga out there just to try and get my own luxurious experience, and we'll see if I get shot by a rancher. Oh, it's Pam. Hey, Pam. So this is what I know about Pam. Pam just at least took her first flight. She's on her way to Walt Disney World right now. She was originally booked there to do the Run Disney Star Wars weekend races. And since they're not having it, they've chosen to go virtual. Pam is still on her way down to Disney, and I imagine she is going to run whatever distances she registered for. So she has officially earned her medals and hopefully has a wonderful time. Pam, the weather here is Florida is perfect. Florida is behaving like Florida, and we're so happy you're here. And yeah, of course, all Floridians appreciate your taxpayer or your tax dollars. So thank you. I hope you have a wonderful time, and give Goofy a big smooch for me because he's my favorite and he secretly is in love with me as well. All right, last question. It's a big one. Unless you have questions. If you got questions, let me know. Use your comment section. Can I work out every day? And this is one I will happily answer till I am blue in the face. Yes, not only can you work out every day, but I think you should work out every day, because if you're not deliberately exercising, more than likely you're being sedentary. You're sitting in a chair, you're sleeping in a bed, you're sitting in the car, in front of the TV, on the computer, in the bleachers. You're sitting a lot. So yes, but since it's the weekend, we're not just going to focus on regular gym exercise. What I want you to do this weekend is work out both days, yeah, Saturday and Sunday. But I want you to do it in a way which is adventurous and fun. So not just the elliptical. The elliptical is great on Wednesday, but on Saturday and Sunday, especially in spring, it's time to get creative. And so for me, I am deliberating. I'd really like to get out on the water. I own a stand-up paddleboard, and I think that will be the thing I do tomorrow. I'm hoping. It's really heavy, so I just need help getting it on my vehicle. But if I do that, stand-up paddleboarding, but there's also a bike. I have a nice new bike given to me by a dear friend who I recently lost, and I'm super excited to have use of it. It's a lightweight Cannondale. It's way fancier than a bike I've ever had, but it's lightweight. And yeah, so stand-up paddleboarding, cycling. We'll definitely go rollerblading with my son, and that's kind of adventurous because you never know what's going to happen when you stand up on rollerblades. And what are you going to do? This is the thing is, yes, I want you to work out every day, even on Christmas, even on your birthday, even on Thanksgiving. And if I set that high bar for you, if you fall short, okay, well, you're exercising 320 days a year as opposed to 365. I got that. So yeah, you don't have to always go to the gym. That doesn't mean that's not the only place you could exercise, but you should certainly get up unless you're sick, unless you're very injured. And when I say injured, if you've sprained your ankle, you can still lift weights, right? You can still stretch. You can do a lot of things with a sprained ankle. So when I say you get a pass because you're injured, you better be damn good and injured if you're not exercising at all. Capiche? That makes sense? Good. Let's see what else. Oh! want to drive home those basic elements of fitness. So we talked about this, but it's the exact formula for weight loss. If weight is an issue for you, if you'd like to lose anywhere between 1 and 1,000 pounds, go to the cover of FITZNESS.com, and there's an article. You just scroll down. It says exact formula for weight loss, and it is the most succinct, easy to understand article with a great Q&A section that will teach you how to eat the right amount of the right food for the size you want to be. The other thing when it comes to fitness, you got to hit all 4 pillars, and we've talked about them today, but cardiovascular, strength, flexibility, and balance. You do not qualify as a fit person unless you have some capacity in all 4 categories. So if you can run a marathon, but you can't touch your toes, you do not qualify as fit. But if you can run down the block, and then you can do a handful of push-ups, and you can touch your toes, and you can stand on 1 foot, you qualify as fit. So it's not really hard to attain. You just have to laser focus on all 4 elements. And if you do that, you're so much less likely to incur pain, strains, tears, injury, the old lady feeling. You will have a body that you feel good about. And so watch what you put in your mouth, move your body, prioritize sleep. I have a recent live stream about prioritizing power naps. It's a really good idea. You got to prioritize actual bedtime. Make sure you sleep in a really comfortable environment. Turn the TV off or turn it on if that works for you. Get a noise machine. Make sure you have comfortable pillows and bedding and things that make you feel restful. And then make sure you go to bed at a good time, wake up at a reasonable time. I like 9 hours. I don't always get 9 hours, but I like it. And then I love to power nap. So sleep, it's eating habits, exercise, sleep, and removing the cranky people from your life. Because yeah, if you keep these people around that treat you like trash, or people that are completely toxic to your psyche, there's no way to be healthy in that environment. The amount of stress, the amount of damage stress will do to your body because you've got cranky person, it's just not worth it, even if they're blood relatives. And I am someone who has removed a blood relative from my life because she was toxic and miserable and mean. And I just decided I didn't deserve that. And fresh air. Life is so good. I wish that person well, but I am not willing to be subjected to such mean behavior. And yeah, it really works for me. I feel like a healthy girl now. All right, Laura Ferrante, one of my favorite neighbors. She says, I was too tired to walk, but I'm going, of course she is. Laura is one of the grittiest, most hardworking people I know, and she takes no prisoners. Every now and then life likes to throw her, a poop sandwich. And she just keeps going. She's going. And I love Laura. I love you, Laura. I hope you have a wonderful walk. Maybe you could just walk over to my house and say hi. That would make me happy. So this weekend, not only am I probably going stand-up paddleboarding and biking and roller skating, but I am teaching, I'm giving a presentation on Sunday. Now, I love my live presentations. I love them best because I love being with people. But as a change, because of this weird year, I've been doing a lot of virtual presentations for corporations, running clubs, churches, schools. Lots of different people are hiring me to give personalized presentations to their group. And this one I'm super excited about because I will be talking to parents. And it's through a church in Chicago. And I will be talking to parents about the importance of physical health to the mental well-being of their children. And, clearly there are direct links between exercise and mental health, strength, their resilience to anxiety and depression and eating disorders and suicide. If you look, interestingly enough, if you look through all of the school shooters, which is a nightmare, but not one of them was an athlete on campus. Not one of those kids was part of a team. I think that is significant. I think that's significant information. And it's interesting. My mom had always said, like, you kids, you're going to play sports, so you're not on the street, you're not doing drugs. But what she didn't understand is she was really contributing to our overall mental health, well-being, and our performance academically. Everything in your life is better when you're engaged in physical activity. And then when you take that physical activity and up the ante to group sports, then you really benefit. And for my children, we're always active. And so I don't worry that they're going to be unfit, but I love that there's another grown-up guiding them. You know, we've done our research. We know who the good grown-ups are, and they've always been privileged to quality coaching. But I love that there's another grown-up telling my child what to do, and ideally another grown-up pushing my child to their limits, you know, getting them to do more, to be better and do better. And so I think being challenged is always a good thing. Life in general is going to challenge our children. And as an adult, I think most of my audience right now is filled with grown-ups, and life's not easy all the time. And people push our limits physically, they push our limits mentally every day. We have the opportunity to get into a verbal altercation with a cashier or some salesperson on the phone, or we choose to compose ourselves and have restraint. And I think so much of that comes from sports. You know, sports, it's the coaching, it's the peer pressure. And sometimes peer pressure is a really good thing. You know, you will live up to higher expectations when the people around you are living up to those same expectations. And I love not only the excitement of triumph, but I love the agony of defeat at least a few times in life. People got to learn how to lose, and then they can compose themselves and know how to respond accordingly as, you know, they get rejected from college, or they're not accepted into a club, or they don't get the job. I think it's really important to mold our little ones as children and teenagers before we send them out on their own. They got to face adversity in the eye, and I'm really excited about this. So if you've got a group and you would like me to come poke your people in the chest and help them do better and be better, I've got some time on my schedule, and I would love to do that. But yeah, this weekend, talking to the parents at the church, and I'll let you know how it goes next week. I have no doubt it's going to be a home run, and I'm hopefully going to help those parents commit to getting their kids up and active, because I believe that's a school district that's still shut down. Oh my gosh. And the idea of children being not able to go to school for an entire year is just mind-boggling to me. And not only the school part, but the activities and the sports, it's just, yeah, that's not okay. It's not okay. So I'm doing my part, or at least I'm trying. So, oh, hat. I wore the hat not for this reason, but I now have a discount code for the OC Marathon Weekend, which will be November 6th and 7th in Orange County, California, OC. And the discount code is Team Noisy. So I'm going to write that here so y'all see it. And Team Noisy, I believe you'll get 10% off on the 5K or the half marathon or the challenge or the virtual races. So even if you just want to get involved virtually, you're not going to fly all the way to California, you're going to stay at home in Poland, you can still register for the OC Marathon. And I'm super excited about that. And let me backtrack. It's actually not a marathon weekend anymore. This year, we're focusing all of our attention on the half marathon. It is going to be a mind-blowingly fun, well-organized, well-swagged half marathon. And so I hope you will join us there. If you're going to be doing if you want to do the full marathon distance, well, then you're going to have to go visit Rudy at the Los Angeles Marathon. So that weekend, both counties have some huge running events, and I hope you'll enjoy us and join us in Southern California and enjoy us, because I think we're pretty damn enjoyable. So before I go, I want to remind you, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm playing over there a whole lot. And don't just connect over there. Say hi. Say, Fitz, I'm here. Let's interact and let's do business on LinkedIn. And I'm also on Instagram. It's all at FITZNESS right there. I don't even have the LinkedIn logo. What's wrong with me? I got to fix that. But I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Do something great. Do something exciting filled with athletic adventure. And then on Monday, report back to me. Let me know what you did. So that's it. Get to work, team. Have a great weekend. Bye.